Metal Mike here, and in this video we're going to prove that the 90s weren't all that bad. I'm going to go through 10 of my favorite hair metal albums that were released from 1991 to 1993. Yes, it was obvious with grunge hitting the scene, times were a-changing. But you know, some of my favorite bands put out their best albums during this time. They definitely showed a lot of growth. So maybe you forgot about these albums, maybe you never heard them, but you need to go back and check them out. First up, Hollywood Vampires by LA Guns in 1991. The Guns were building from where they left off with Cocked and Loaded. There's no grunge to be found on this one, just straight up rock, with songs like Kiss My Love Goodbye, Some Lie for Love, and Over the Edge. They had a surprise hit with It's Over Now, which was a crossover pop ballad co-written with an outside writer, Jim Valance.
The moment I heard It's Over Now, I knew it was over. That song, you know, and I don't hate the song. We're actually putting it in the set because we never have, and I'm curious to see what it sounds like live and how it goes down. But yeah, the writing was definitely on the wall, man.
Another one from 1991 is the Mike Becerra-fronted Loudness putting out The Killer on the Prowl. This album had all new rockers like Down and Dirty and Playing Games, but then they had some rewritten, Americanized Loudness tunes from days past, songs like In the Mirror and Long Distance Love. The rewritten classics were supposed to be for Japan only, but ultimately the whole project was released to the world.
Well, what happened was, as we were doing that record, the label decided they really liked it and they wanted to release it for the world. So that's why On the Prowl is a little odd, because it originally wasn't supposed to be for the world. It was only for Japan.
1991 also brought the return of Europe with Prisoners in Paradise. There was just a slew of great catchy songs on this one. Songs like All or Nothing, Halfway to Heaven, and the title track. Multiple setbacks pushed this album into the grunge era. But you know, if it could have came out 1 year earlier, I think they would have had a huge smash album.
But I know that I tend to gravitate to, for some reason, Prisoners in Paradise. Wow. And I guess it's because that album was so sort of shoved away, because it was released just around the time when you know, when Nirvana came around and
exactly
and basically stabbed the Aches to pieces.
Another fave of mine from 91 is White Lion's Main Attraction. Now this one is just loaded with killer tunes, songs like Lights and Thunder and War Song, probably some of the heaviest songs the band has ever done. Also there's catchy commercial tunes on there like Love Don't Come Easy and the remake of Broken Heart. Unfortunately, the band imploded shortly after its release. Hey, I have no interview clips with these guys, so hey, if anybody's got Vito's number, tell him I want to talk to him on the 80s Glam Metalcast. 1992, my boys Ronnie Laticro and Tony Harnell from TNT put out the amazing Realize Fantasies. This one's just got heavy, awesome melodic tracks like Downhill Racer, Rain, and the Queen-influenced Easy Street. They faced a lot of pressure from Atlantic Records to change up their sound, and here's Tony talking about it.
The label was trying to pressure us after Intuition. They felt that the thing that was preventing us from being huge was that we weren't singing about girls and sex enough. So, and whatever. So they brought in another lyric writer to work together with me and Ronnie.
Winger in 1993 did the awesome album Pull. This one shows them building and modernizing their signature sound. There's great songs on there like Blind Revolution Mad, Junkyard Dog, and Spell I'm Under, and the super cool single Down Incognito. You know, I've never had any of these guys on the show either. I think they need to loosen up and come on the show. In 91, Brittany Fox lost their original singer Dizzy Dean Davidson, but they didn't lose their edge with the killer Bite Down Hard. New singer Tommy Paris did a great job on straight-ahead rockers like Louder, Closer to Your Love, and 6 Guns Loaded.
I mean, really, for a band that lost a singer like that, and who was really known at the time as being Dean's band, I don't think you could really expect much more than what Bite Down Hard was. And I think it was probably surprising. A lot of people probably thought it wasn't going to be as good as it was.
I think everybody can agree that 1992's Doggy Dog is one of Warrant's best and heaviest, showing some real depth on the songwriting for this one. And they introduced some modern elements to it as well, but I think they kept true to who they were. Heavy jammers like Machine Gun, Hole in My Wall, Quicksand, and the thought-provoking April 2031.
You know, that was the first album that we made, and with the original lineup, that was just, we did it for ourselves. And the songwriting was darker for sure, and we just wanted to get heavier, because we always thought we were a heavier band live than what translated on those first 2 records. And, so I think Janie at the time wrote some heavier, darker material, and then we picked a different producer, and it just had a different vibe to it, and that's one of my favorite. That's the top 2 for sure for me.
In 1993, Poison was back, building on the bluesy tones from Flesh and Blood, putting out Native Tongue. Now CC was out and Richie Kotzen was in. Great guitar playing, and he had a killer voice for the background vocals. They got a little bit of MTV airplay with the song Stand. They had cool, catchy rockers like 7 Days and Stay Alive, and one of their best tunes, in my opinion, is the ballad, Until You Suffer Some, Fire and Ice. Last but not least is one of my all-time favorite albums, 1993's Psycho Schizophrenia by Lillian X. If you've never heard this album, I recommend that you check it out. It's a unique mix of melodic rock, modern metal, just awesome, man. Steve Blaze and Ron Taylor certainly serve up a masterpiece with this one, with songs like Deep Freeze, Moonlight in Your Blood, and The Day That I Met You.
The fact of the matter is that we didn't have a chance, okay? Because we were still tied into the 80s glam thing, even though we were late 80s.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my list. Do a list of your own from this era and put it in the comments below. Rock on!